Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Blog Talk Radio.
Blackwater Hattie lived back in the swamp where strange green reptiles crawl. Snakes hang thick from the cypress trees like sausage on a smokehouse wall. Where the swamp is alive with 1,000 eyes and all of them watching you. Stay off the track of Hattie Shack in the back of the Black Bayou. Way up the road from Hattie's shack lies a sleepy little Okeechobee town. Talk a swamp witch of Hattie, lock you in when the sun goes down. Rumors of what she'd done, rumors of what she'd do, kept folks off a track of Hattie's shack in the back of the Black Bayou. One day brought the rain stayed on, and the swamp water overflowed. Mosquitoes and the fever grabbed the town like a fist. Dr. Jackson was the first to go. Some said the plague was brought by Hattie. There was talk of a hanging too. But the talk got shackled by the howls and the cackles from the bowels of the Black Bayou. Early one morn between dark and dawn, when shadows fill the sky, there came an unseen caller on a town where hope run dry. In the square there was found a big black round vat full of gurgling brew. Whispering sounds as the folks gathered round. It came from the Black Bayou. There ain't much pride when you're trapped inside a slowly sinking ship. Scooped up the liquid deep and green, and the whole town took a sip. Fever went away, and the very next day the skies again were blue. Let's thank old Hattie for saving our town. We'll fetch you from the Black Bayou. Party of 10 of the town's best men headed for Hattie's shack. Said Swamp Witch magic was useful and good, and they're gonna bring Hattie back. Never found Hattie, and they never found the shack, and they never made a trip back in. A parchment note they found tacked to a stump said, "Don't come looking again."
Welcome to Within the Chaos with your host,
Rodney Shortridge,
and co-host,
Robin Dalton.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. You can listen in by going to our blogtalkradio.com/Within the Chaos, or you can call in and ask any questions to our guest at 323-870-4197. For deep within the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for listening to Within the Chaos. My name is Rodney Shortridge, and I'll be your host tonight, along with my fiery redhead co-host, Robin Dalton.
Hey, yo.
Tonight, our special guest is the beautiful paranormal investigator from the hit TV show Ghost Hunters. And gosh, please don't let me tear up her name. Shari DeBenedetti. She'll just have to correct me on that because I'm from the South and we have trouble with them northern names. Oh, gosh, she probably will never come back. So, Robin, how was your week?
Same old, just a working and enjoyed some Halloween, and now I'm ready to put my Christmas stuff up, and Jeff won't let me.
It's not time. You don't do it until Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I'm a little impatient.
You ain't Walmart.
I know. I guess I'll wait.
That'd be good. Well, let me try to get her name again. It's my honor to welcome our special guest, Shari DeBenedetti. Hello, Shari. And if I tore up your name, please forgive me.
It's DeBenedetti.
DeBenedetti.
Yeah, DeBenedetti. Yeah. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I am so sorry. Like I said, I'm from the South, and we can't pronounce you northern names.
No, it's okay. A lot of people have problems, trouble saying my name. That's okay.
Good. I was so worried. I'm like, oh, God. I kept telling Robin all week, I'm like, I'm going to tear it up. I know I am. She ain't going to ever want to come back. She's going to be like, no, I ain't doing things no more. I can't say Shari. I got that part right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Well, obviously, I'm on Ghost Hunters. I've been paranormal investigating for. Since the 90s, I've been doing a lot of research and then actually starting my own paranormal investigating company. I actually just recently stopped doing that, and then now I'm on Ghost Hunters, or with the TAPS group. But I started it a long time ago because I did live in a haunted house, had a lot of experiences, and therefore that's why I started investigating and trying to figure out, what was going on and why. It led me to doing this and going to other people's homes and just, helping them out. I know that if I knew of any groups way back then, obviously we didn't have internet or anything back then, so it was a little bit difficult, but it would have been great if there were groups back then to actually come in and help us out, because it was pretty bad.
Wow.
So that's where it got me today, I guess.
Well, what was the problems that was going on that was pretty bad? I mean, you kind of left that hanging there.
Yeah, well, you know what? There were a lot of different things. In the beginning, when I was living with my family, and when we first moved in the house, everything was fine. There was no problem. And then just one day, everything changed. From the regular doors opening and closing, and the lights going, on and off, and the knocking and the footsteps. I mean, just the regular things that you get. But there were other things of, I had a certain apparition that came to me that was kind of like a doppelganger to my ex-boyfriend, and just for example, one night I came home really late at night, and so I just got to bed, and all of a sudden there was just something like it felt like a hand, holding on to my wrist, putting me down, and then like a hand over my mouth and then a hand over my legs. And then all of a sudden an apparition came and, just appeared in front of me. And, again, it was like a doppelganger of my ex-boyfriend. And so, like, for a split second, I was just thinking, is he here, And but as he came closer to me, he had no face. So it was really just, it was just like the body and kind of like the outlining of him and stuff. And he just kind of hovered over me for a little bit, and then he just kind of leaned back up and then just walked away. And I heard the footsteps on the carpet. However, when I saw him towards the door, that's when I got to see like the bottom part of him, and which was not there. So like from the knee down, there was nothing there. It was just the above. And the door opened, and he laughed, and then the door closed behind him, and then everything kind of lifted off. So things like that would happen in this house. My mother had her own entity that she kind of described as looking like a Abraham Lincoln type of a guy with the hat and the beard and stuff. So she had her guy, I had mine, and just really crazy things would happen. Just things would shoot out of her closet. My bird, for whatever reason, sometimes we just found him hanging upside down when she hasn't done that, in like the 8 years that I had her. However, after, these strange things started happening in the house, we found her upside down a couple of times, and then she would actually be out of the cage. When the cage was completely shut, it's like something just opened up the cage, and then she would be flying around by herself. I'm trying to think. We heard somebody was making like a drink. It sounded like somebody was downstairs making a drink one night. We heard the cupboards open, the glass put down. We heard ice going into a glass, stirring. just really weird things that were going on. And the feeling that you go into the house was just awful. So, if I was in the driveway and I was the only one home, I would just sit in the driveway and wait for, somebody to come home for me to go inside. It was pretty bad.
Sounds
Well,
like it. Sorry, Rodney, go ahead.
How old was the house? When was it built?
The house at the time was only about 6 or 7 years old, and the people that were in there previous, nobody died. I still think that they're alive today, actually. So it wasn't anything. I don't think there's anything to have to do with the house. On the property itself, I guess it used to be like strawberry fields or something. I don't really know who it was. It could have been just somebody walking through, or somebody that attached themselves to us coming back, or, I really don't know, because at that point in time I wasn't investigating. I wanted nothing to do with the house, let alone to go into the house to investigate. So I really don't know what it could have been.
So does your family still own the home, or did y'all get rid of it?
No, we did not live there much longer after that. Maybe 2 years tops.
Wow. Because I know when I was younger, our house, we had activity there. My parents wouldn't talk about it. They tried to act like it was our imagination. I didn't find out until I was grown that my mom finally, told me, yes, she was experiencing too. So I wasn't sure. We ended up eventually selling the house, but it was years upon years later.
Yeah, my father he just kept saying, no, it's you two are crazy. He just kept calling my mother and I crazy.
Wow. Well, are there any people in your life that influence you to start working in the paranormal field?
Oh God, that are close to me. There's nobody else in my family that's doing it. and none of my close friends around, like friends that, were friends first, no. But I mean, I have a lot of friends that are in the field, but they're friends because they're in the field, not because they were friends first, put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, are there any teams or individuals that are in the paranormal field that are inspirational to you now?
You know what? Really, just everybody does things differently. I mean, every investigator has their own ways of doing it, and I do believe that we can just all learn from each other. And it's not that anybody's doing it better than anybody else. It's just, you just got to find your own techniques that you're comfortable with. So I see what everybody does, and whatever I'm comfortable with, that's pretty much what I do. And I guess that's why I get along well with TAP's crew, just because that's how I like to do it. Those are the techniques that they do. I've always liked to do it. So, so of course I always, look up to them and see if they're doing things that are new, or maybe if there's different equipment that they use and something, so it's always, everybody needs to learn from each other and but I mean, there's, the one thing is that everybody needs to, again, work in the field and work together. I guess I've been hearing a few little things here and there, through social media with people kind of talking about each other and stuff. And it's just, it's not the way to go. I just think that people need to, just learn from each other. And again, it's not that anybody's doing anything wrong or right. Just work your own way. Work however you want to do. And there are a lot of people that work like TAP, so that's where that's usually my inspiration. Is what they do and how far they've come and how far they've taught other people. I definitely go with the whole debunking and disproving whatever you can. You just don't go in there and just assuming that everything's, haunted. So when groups are like that, I'm not really crazy about the way, they do that, but.
Oh, yeah, that's how we work our group. We try to go in to debunk everything before, and a lot of our clients kind of get upset when I'm like, you ain't got nothing. You need pest control.
Yes, there's a lot of people that get mad. But you know what? They get nervous and they call you in. They want to know what's going on. But once you say, "Oh no, it's not that. It's just this and this," and then they get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few of those. It's when I've sat down. Even showed them video of a mice or rats or bats or something like that. I'm like, this is what's scratching on your door, and they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's right there.
Right. Yeah, you got proof, right?
Yeah, I got proof, and they still don't want to accept it. But how did you get involved with TAPS? I mean, how did that all transpire for you to be able to get on the show and to work with such pioneers of laying out the groundwork?
Well, I met the crew, many of the crew, including obviously Jason and Grant, a long time ago. They were doing their events, and my husband at the time, him and I used to go to these events, and we met them. We got along with them, their families, our families. So just over the years, we've became very, very close, very good friends. And I don't know. We just kept in touch all these years. Jason knows, how I do my investigations. He knows my personality. He knows who I am, how I am, who I am. So he just, thought that I would be a good fit for his team. Which, we all get along. There's, from day one, they've been all very, very good, because I'm not even used to TV. So it was very difficult getting to be in front of them, in front of the TV, in front of the crew, and of course, starting to work with Tap. It's a little hard, because they are who they are. So me, who's just this girl from Boston, all of a sudden working with these people who, I'm friends with, but it's just it's different once you're actually working with them, and then on the TV. But they made it very, very easy. They're all just so down to earth, just great to get along with, and obviously very funny. And so it makes the time go by a little bit quicker, but he just knows that my personality would work well with them. So he called me up, and that was it.
Well, that's great, because I tell you what, it's been kind of, the show has been, really inspirational to a lot of paranormal groups out there. They kind of, the way I look at it, they kind of laid the groundwork to bring a lot of light to it, that a lot of people were doing it, but they really wasn't, advertising
right.
yourself as much. And
right.
yeah, nothing but respect for you all and what you all do, because it's moved the paranormal world in a whole different direction, and in a positive way, in my opinion.
Right.
So, what has been your most significant paranormal experiences, and has it changed the way you think or your life in any way? I know it's a loaded one.
Well, you know what? Ever since the craziest experiences were only actually prior to me investigating, but that was, the scary stuff. After I've learned and done it for so long and experienced different things, I guess nothing really shocks me anymore. I don't really know how to answer it, but my favorite investigations to do are the home ones. The home ones are, the people are very nervous and scared and everything. And once you kind of, you go in there, and of course you disprove or debunk whatever you can. But once you start trying to figure out if it is paranormal, who it is, what's going on, and all of that, I just think it's amazing that we can go in there and we can talk to these spirits and try to figure out what's going on and help these people and just help them be comfortable, and
right.
And what?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she said something. I'm sorry.
I said right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is somebody else here?
Just for example, there was just a house that I went to a few years ago, and this boy just turned 16 years old. Just got his license, so now he's free. So he goes out, and I guess he was drinking. So he was, drinking and driving. And first of all, drinking underage, obviously, but he was doing the drinking and driving. And his mother called me. No, I didn't know who they were, so she just, called my company. And she was telling me what was going on, and it was basically, there was, it was only him that was having these experiences. So with the knocking and the footsteps and the voices and just weird things that were kind of, scaring this boy. So my team and I went over, and we did our thing, and we figured it out through the equipment and the questions and everything that you asked and the recorders, and, that it was his great-grandfather that was telling us that Rob is drinking. And obviously that's the boy's name. And so the boy was there with us and his mother was there with us. And it was coming through the recorder saying that, Rob is drinking. And, but we made sure that was his grandfather. We had the mother there asking all these questions to make sure that was, that's who it was. And he was just telling us, and we try to tell the son he's trying to scare you. Like he's just, he knows what's going on. If this is your guardian angel or whatever, you need to listen. So it scared the boy so much. And then there was actually some movement and everything that was still going on. There's all these orbs that were going crazy in the room. And so having him experience everything that my team just went through within his house scared him so much that he stopped drinking. And then it never happened again. No haunting, nothing. So stories like that, So it's, who knows what could have happened. So if the mother never called, God forbid he gets into an accident or, who knows what could have happened. So things like that makes you love your job. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, speaking to spirits, because I love EVPs. I love to do EVP sessions. And I hadn't really thought much about it until we got an EVP. It sounded like an Irish or Scottish lady. And then I got to thinking, we talked maybe doing EVP sessions in different languages. Do y'all do that? Have you done that?
I personally have not. I don't know if the task team prior do. I remember seeing a few things with them, with either French or Spanish, or trying to talk in other languages. I personally have not done it. So I don't know. They could have. There's a lot of EVPs that you listen to, and you're like, I have no idea what this says, and it could be in so many different languages. I don't know. So, but I never actually looked up in different languages of what some of these things could have said.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them are hard to tell, what language it might be.
Yeah. No kidding.
I can't hear any. It's very hard for me to hear her. I'm sorry.
Robin, get out of the bathroom.
I'm not in the bathroom. I was like, sometimes it's well.
I'm sorry, Shari. This happens every week. She's in the bathroom trying to do an interview. I apologize.
That's my hiding place away from my kids.
Oh, I hear you.
So since you've talked about some of these cases and investigations you've done, do you have one case or a few that may be the strangest, weirdest type of case that you've ever worked on?
Strangest, weirdest. Oh God, I can't think anything off the top of my head here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I really can't think of anything at the top of my head right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right, because we had a case where a lady, we went in, done an investigation and stuff, and what made it weird wasn't an investigation. It was the fact that she kept calling me about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and wanted me to come by. All this stuff was going on, and I'd have another girl go with me. And when I get there, she just would sit there and smoke weed and want to talk. And I'm like, this is not what I'm here for. I got to go to bed.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I did have one. Because people, this one guy had us come over, told us, all these things that would happen to the house, and so we came over, and all of a sudden he had like this whole setup. So he had the whole bar set up, he had the whole island full of food, and he had about 30 people over. And we're like, well, all of a sudden we're entertainment, so I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, well, everybody wants to be here. I was like, no. So we're like, no, everybody needs to go. If you want us to do this, everybody needs to go. We're here to do a job, not entertain. And so nobody wanted to go, but they all said that they would hang outside. Well, of course, there's contamination too. So it's like, well, we're not going to go through hours of stuff when we have people laughing and whatever outside. So we can't do that either. And then, but yeah, there was other people, smoking in the garage, and then they would come in, and then they would be all over the place. We actually did have we kind of like hung out in one room, and we actually did have a pretty good session with all of our equipment and stuff, and so we did have some stuff, but we told them we're not coming back until to do a thorough investigation when there's nobody here, because this is just that's crazy. So so people are getting high and drunk and everything else. So so we just but people do that quite often. They like to have you come. I mean, of course, we do all the questions before we come over to make sure that it's safe to even go over. You don't know whose house you're going into, so you ask your regular questions of, just to make sure you're going to be safe going over there. But when it's okay, we go over, and there's a lot of people who just have many people over their houses. Oh my God, they're coming in. Yeah, let's be, and then they have a group of people, and we can't, and we don't want to spend the time going over the recorders, because you got so many people there, so many people talking or walking, or so it's we're not going to spend the time to go through everything when we don't know what's what, because obviously people are not going to tag themselves, or say anything. So, but that does happen a lot.
Well,
yeah,
that kind of goes into what another question I have. I know a lot of people have the misperception that, especially after watching the show, that once you go in and do an investigation, then the next day you all have already went through all your evidence and you take it right back to them. And I can't. A lot of the clients we deal with, I can't get them to understand when we've got hundreds of hours of audio and video to go through. It takes time. And do you all run into that, or do you all just have a group that help you all go through everything and you're able to turn it in really quickly?
Yeah, no, we are. It takes about a minimum of 2 weeks usually per episode. So people just think that they see this 42-minute episode that we pretty much did it all in 42 minutes. Like that's a lot of the comments that I get is, oh wow, that was quick, even. But they're not obviously going to show the whole time, that we're there. We're at a property for at least 2 days, depending on how big the place is. I mean, if we need to stay a week, we'll stay a week, or even more, if it's a huge place. But we go through all the equipment, so it's not that anybody else goes through it. We all go through it. So yeah, it does take a long time. So many people criticize, and they just don't understand. And I keep saying over and over and over again, say if it's a minimum, of of a property, we're there for at least 2 days. There's, 12 hours that we're there a day, pretty much, so all of those hours lumped into, 43 minutes, I think. That's what it cuts down to. Like, so you're only going to see bits and pieces of everything. You're not going to see the whole thing. And people, they just don't get it. They don't understand. And then they just think, oh, well, all you guys say is hello, or all you guys say is this. Well, we've been there for hours and hours, but we say, we ask many different questions, many different ways. We go in as different teams all the time, into the same places. If, sometimes if one team gets the same result as another team, well, maybe they'll only show the one team getting those results, but they won't show the other teams. Just because it's so time consuming of what they're going to be having on TV, and no matter, people are always going to say something. I don't know. They just don't get it. I don't know.
Oh, I know. They get upset with me because, granted, we've been doing this ourselves for 8 years, and a lot of people in my group,
Hello?
Rodney. We lost
you in the bathroom
him.
now?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Get out of the bathroom, Rod.
Yeah.
Sorry, I fell asleep. No, I'm just kidding. I dozed off. It's been a long day. I've been up ever since 3 o'clock. No, but what I was saying was that, I just lost the train of thought.
So you guys were in the company for 8 years, and
yeah, and where people work or you go to school and have family, it takes me a couple months for us to go through our stuff where you all could do it in a couple weeks. And a lot of people, they get really impatient with me, and I tell them up front when we do the pre-investigation, hey, it takes me 2 to 3 months to depend on, like you said, the size of the place and how much footage or audio we got to go through, and It still don't matter. Within like a week, they're like, "Did you get anything?"
Yeah.
I'm just now going through the photos.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying. It's tedious.
It is time consuming, absolutely.
So, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you use during an investigation?
Oh, my favorite. I like so many. Of course, I like the thermal because who doesn't like that? But I like obviously the recorder because you need that. I do like what do I like? The God, you know what? I like a lot of them. When I do investigations, I usually kind of spread out all of them just because I like to have different things going on, not just one piece of equipment, and just kind of see what happens. But, I sometimes use the K2 still because I like when they try to respond on that, or the REM pod. So either one. Obviously the EMF, just to see if, what the numbers are with that. I don't know. I guess those are the ones I normally use for most of my stuff. The SB7 every once in a while, we'll use it. And again, it takes a little bit longer just to make sure that you know who you're talking to. You kind of ask many questions just to figure out if you're talking to the right people. We usually don't use that much on the TV. I know just because there's so many different things that can the frequencies that go in there. You could pick up so many different things. So I know that they don't like to have that, but for my home investigations, I do use those every once in a while. But mostly if the owners are still there, and then if it's people that they know, and then they can ask questions, and then they can, make sure that that's the people who we're actually talking to, and ask personal questions,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, have you ever dealt, with any cases, whether it's been with TAPS or with the investigations that you've done before, dealt with any possessions or demons or anything like that?
Not really. When I did the company on my own, I called fellow investigators to go out because I wasn't really prepared to do any of that stuff. So I would always have them help me out with those. I personally did not go out. I guess I didn't really know too much about them to go out, and I didn't want anybody to attach themselves to me and bring them home with me, so I was a little nervous about going to any of those places. But I had a lot of friends in the field that I would just, here you go, here's your case.
Well, do you all, within TAPS, do you all do anything to keep from anything attaching to you all?
Everybody has their own thing. There's no, there's nothing that we all do together. We don't do a seance or anything beforehand. Everybody has their own things. I mean, I usually, say my prayers and I don't really bring anything with me in the places at all. Before I leave, I usually just, tell them that they're not allowed to follow me home and do all that even before I get into the car. Knock on wood, luckily it's been working because I haven't brought anybody home that I know of anyways. But I know that everybody has their own little things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
See, Rodney, I'm not the only one that prays before I go hunting.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I know everybody has their own little thing. I just do my thing and go on.
Yeah. Whatever makes you feel better, whatever, as long as you feel confident going in there. Maybe that's why I haven't had anything evil coming after me. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I know in the last 8 years, I don't think we've ever encountered anything evil. I've never even felt anything like an evil presence or anything anywhere. Have you, Rod?
No, just malevolent. Somebody a jokester or somebody just being a butthole.
Right.
But that's been it. I know a lot of people kind of think or say they have claims of demons and so forth, but yeah, we haven't run into anything like that.
Right. I mean, you get the other. Oh, sorry. The other thing is that people seem to think that are evil, people in there or something, and then they're all scared. But then when you actually go in there, it's really not anything evil. It's just, and I'm sure you guys have heard it 1,000 times from Jason on the show. It's just somebody that just wants to be acknowledged, and all they're doing is tapping you, but you're just not feeling it. So they push a little bit harder, so that they're just trying to get your attention. But then that push, the people felt that first push, which was a really hard push. But so the people think that, oh my God, somebody's trying to push me and trying to hurt me, and really it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, we get pushed and hair pulled. We get all of that stuff. But to me, it's not evil. It's just they're just trying to get our attention and try to tell us something, and we go in there and we say, okay, do this to us, and then things happen. but that doesn't mean that they're evil. It's just, okay, you're telling me to do this, so, it's okay to do this.
Yeah, they're probably like, hey, Liz, somebody's listening.
Yeah. Well, I know since I started it and been doing this, I would say 80% of the time when we do an investigation or the cases we've done, I get my name called a lot. We catch it on EVPs and even on video, whether it's, hey, Rodney or hey, Rod or something like that. Have you all ran into anything like that, or anybody in the groups that you know of that while they've been investigating, something's been trying to contact them personally throughout their investigations, no matter where they're at?
Yeah, I know. I know that they have had their names called. It's usually the boys that usually get their names called. For some reason, I definitely. I'm just trying to think of one instant. All these things were so long ago. I'm trying to remember. I just remember that Steve and Jay were in a room one time, in one of the rooms, and I think, I don't even know what was going on at the time, but I do remember the spirit saying, hey, Steve, or or something, and he didn't hear it at the time, but I know he gets a lot of women talking, and they're usually women, of course, that are saying hi to him.
Well, do you all have a theory?
Nobody ever called my name.
Do y'all have a theory as to why they do that? I mean, to maybe certain members in the group.
Well, I don't know. I just think that every investigation is different, and then every spirit's different. Every spirit's going to be different on how they are talking to you. Have a conversation, either. And of course, obviously, you go in and say, hi, my name is so and so, and maybe that was he just happens to have all these nice women ghosts that he goes in, and they say hi, and you never know if they're actually talking to any of us either, because we can't pick up everything. We can't, so maybe they are talking, but we're just not picking it up, or they're in another part of the room with the recorder's not, so they could still be, saying things to us or even continuing that conversation, but we just never picked it up, or we never heard it.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Being with TAPS, I'm sure you've got to go to some amazing places. Is there anywhere you've been with Jason and them that you've actually been, super scared?
Jason, super scared. No. 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 I can't think of one place at all.
They'll say, oh, y'all always seem so cool, like cool as a cucumber, I'm not worried or anything. Now, I've been doing this a while, and there's still times that I get scared. I don't know. It's funny because I watch the show, and we have to do the live tweeting during the show, and I have people over here over my house while we're watching the show, and hearing the comments that they make, and they're like, oh my God, I have goosebumps. Oh my God, I can't watch that. Oh my God, oh, that's so scary. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why is that so scary? I don't get it. So to me, I don't know. I just don't see it. But maybe because I haven't, I always say it's not there. I know that there's not clown hanging around the corner, that's going to come and run after me. I guess then I would be scared. But
but otherwise, I'm fine. And as we always say, it's more the living that scare us than the dead. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't scare me. I mean, I might feel a little strange going into a couple of places, but I usually go in very skeptic and just assuming that these places aren't haunted. And then, once you do all your preliminary stuff and then you try to figure it out, as long as they're not doing anything mean or throwing something at me, or as long as stuff like that isn't happening, then it's not going to scare me away. I mean, if I see, like a piece of brick or a rock or something being thrown at me, then yeah, I'm leaving. But otherwise, I'm fine.
Hell, if somebody's throwing a brick at me, I'd leave too. Living or dead. I'd be like, I can get ahead.
Right.
So, have you done any other work on TV before you joined TAPS?
No, nothing. It took me a while to get used to it. And again, just the cameras, being right there in your face and having to be mic'd all the time, so you have to kind of watch what you say if it's inappropriate. So it took some time to get used to it, and then being in this field, of course you're in the dark, and you have the camera guy in back of you, and sometimes I kind of like to wander off a little bit just to kind of do, that's just what I do. And so they keep saying, Shari, if you got to go somewhere, tell us, just so we know, and I'm like, oh, because I keep forgetting that this guy's in back of me, because it's just the one camera guy, and he's following the two of us. So, we need to stay together as much as we can, unless, other we could talk to each other and then, move to a different room or something. But so that took me a bit. And like for opening up a door, I'd open up the door for the cameraman. They're like, no, Shari, you need to just walk right through. We got the door. Don't worry about it. You need to stay in front of the camera, not the back of the camera. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So it took me a little bit to figure that out.
That's very good.
It sounds like it's been fun, though. How long have you been on the show?
I started season 10, episode 11. So, what is it, 2000? So a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. So now let's see if I get this right. So I'm not messing this up because I got a bad habit of doing that. Is TAPS actually, the show leaving Sci-Fi and going to another network, or are y'all staying with Sci-Fi? I mean, because I've read some things about it, and it's been kind of confusing.
There's no new news out there, and I'm sure when Jason is ready to say whatever he needs to say, he'll be saying it. But no, definitely Sci-Fi is absolutely no longer.
Okay.
So that's as much as I know right now.
Okay. Well, I wasn't trying to corner you or anything. No, don't think that. It's just, I wasn't trying to trip you up and, something Jason be listening to this and going, that son of a bitch, what's he doing? No. I wasn't trying to do that. I was just where I've read it. I was just, I've seen so many different things. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, don't believe what you read right now, because I don't really know what's out there. I really don't know what people are even saying, but the only thing I do know is that it's no more with Sci-Fi. It's completely done with them. Yep.
Hey, that's fair enough. Well, that kind of goes into my next question, and I'm not trying to trip you up again. It's just an honest question. I don't know if I was like, okay, watch it, big guy.
No, you can ask anything you want. I just might not answer. That's all. Go ahead.
I plead the Fifth Amendment on the grounds that may incriminate me. Okay. Have you ever been asked by the producers or anyone within the network to do something that goes against your integrity for the show?
No, never. No.
Well, people that we interview with shows, I tend to ask that. And I actually got somebody say yes. And I was like, damn, what expected that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, be who you need to be. It's a reality show. You just go in and do what you normally do. It's that simple.
Yeah, I know when we did.
How has your family been through all this?
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
How supportive has your family been through all this with your work?
Oh, they've been awesome. Awesome. I mean, just incredibly awesome. Of course, my parents are probably my number one fans, and of course my kids. My ex has been taking my kids while I go away, so he's been very supportive. He knows I was in a group with my ex, and that's with our company and our paranormal company, and so he knows how much I love this, and he knows what a great opportunity this was to become a member of TAPS and on Ghost Hunters. So he is completely supportive of all of this. Of course, my boyfriend now, all my friends, my family all back home in New York, everybody just very supportive. They'll all watch it for me. They'll all, text me and do all the social media just do all the shares and everything. So it's been incredible. They've all been really good.
Well, that's good because you don't find that a lot.
Yeah,
especially in our area. Oh Lord.
What area?
Well, where I say we're from Appalachia, I live in Virginia. She lives, and Robin lives in West Virginia, and they're not real supportive about what we do down in this area because it's very religious, and they think we're doing the work of the devil. And I told them, I said, no.
Right, I've heard that before. With a lot, I'll read some of the comments that that people make, even though I was told not to because I'll get mad at the people. But I do read, just read it just to see what people, say. And of course you can't really comment back. You'd love to, but you just got to keep your mouth shut and just keep doing whatever you're doing. Everybody has their own religion, what they believe in, and it's not for anybody to say that anybody else is wrong. Everybody just believes in their own thing, and you just got to look over them.
Yep.
It's kind of hard when there's a majority here.
Well, good luck then.
She's like, you're on your own, big guy. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, have you experienced anything other than hauntings, such as, cryptozoology or any UFO encounters? I know it's kind of going out of the box, but it kind of goes with the bigger picture.
Yeah, I've seen a UFO. I have not seen an alien, but I've seen UFO. Years ago, maybe, I'm trying to think, I moved out here in '84, so probably early 80s, maybe. I don't want to give out my age that much, but, early 80s, I was at my grandmother's house, and the dog started barking in the back, so a few of us went out. We were having a party, and so my family and I went outside to see what the dog was barking at, and say maybe about 200 feet away, my grandparents had all these warehouses and stuff, and on top of one of the warehouses was this UFO. And it was just like the regular saucer style, that you normally see as a regular one. And it was just hovering over it, not a sound. It wasn't making any sound. The only lights were on the bottom of the craft, and they looked like they were like circle-type lights. And it was just sitting there. And I don't even know for how long. I mean, it felt like forever, but, who knows how long. And there was quite a few of us out there. So it wasn't just me that saw it. It was a bunch of us. And then just all of a sudden, it raised up and then left. And again, no sound whatsoever, and it just shot up.
Wow.
So I definitely believe in UFOs, but I don't know if they picked up people or dropped off people or what's going on. I don't know. I didn't see anybody, so I don't.
Apparently, they like beef.
What?
I said apparently they like beef because what I've read and seen about all these cattle mutilations. So I guess they're like steak.
Oh, gross.
How's it? Okay, boy.
I blew that. But the thought of them eating, the living. Yeah.
I understand you go out on private investigations with local teams. Would you consider coming down and doing an investigation with BDPS sometime?
Well, you guys are more than welcome to call my agent because I'll go anywhere. I do. A lot of the private investigations are usually, like in my area, in the Boston area is where I normally do it.
Right.
But I will be down there. Are you near, what is it, St. Albans Sanitarium?
We go there, yes.
Yeah, because I actually am doing I'll be there in May with Steve and Dustin. And I think was that Memorial Weekend? Is that May? I can't remember. So I'll be down there in that area then. But I normally do, like I say, I usually do private investigations around the Boston area with groups over here. So I've never actually been out to other states. I guess we could talk about that offline if you want.
Okay.
I know what
I will tell you, you'll love St. Albans. It's a great place.
What I'm going to say.
You're not so busy. So what do you do when you're not so busy?
Well, like I said, I have my two kids, and I'm also I became a realtor this year. So while I'm on hiatus, I decided to go out and be a realtor. So that's what I've been doing this whole time, and I also do work part-time for an engineering firm, and then obviously do side investigations on the weekends. So I keep myself busy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Doesn't get me. I got to keep out of trouble.
So what? I know we kind of touched off on the religious part. What? Let me see. How can I ask this just right? So I don't sound like a dumb again. What is when you all doing investigations? I mean, have you all, when it comes up to the religious aspects, when you all do an investigation, Does that come into play with some of the places that you all have gone to or not, or do you all just kind of set that off to the side, or does that entwine within the investigation?
We don't really really talk about it. I mean, I know I don't really talk about it with them, whether they talk about it without me. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I'm assuming I know what everybody's religions are. I'm not going to go through everything, but I think that we all believe in the same thing, and we all have sort of that same religion that, that maybe that's because we don't talk about it, just because we are pretty much all alike, and we all believe a lot, all believe a lot of the same things, not the exact same, but, everybody has their own way of thinking and way of believing, but I think mostly we I think it's pretty much the same, for all of us.
Well, how do you feel about Ouija boards? I know, I don't want my group to have anything to do with them, but I don't know about, as far as, have you worked with them or used them or anything like that?
I played with them a lot when I was younger, and I probably like middle school, high school, probably like late middle school, early high school. I played with it, and I kind of don't want my kids playing with it. I pretty much already told them no. I know it's just a board. A lot of people, I don't really know what to think about it. I don't really have a definite answer because I know the things that I experienced through the board that I would not have my kids play with it. And when I played with it, I always had things moving. But again, does it have to do with the board, or can you just do this with anything? I mean, we always ask, spirits when we walk into a place, hey, move something, or do this, or do that, so, and sometimes they have, sometimes they move things, sometimes they don't, and that's without the board. So I can't specifically say it has to do with the board itself. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So there's things about it. I'm not quite sure. But when I did play with it a lot, again, this was a long time ago, so I didn't have any of the equipment. I wasn't investigating. I didn't know anything about, any of that, the spirits and stuff. But I used to have a lot of, and people always knew that I used to play with it, so they would want to come over and see things happen. So, and I always had things move because nobody would believe if anybody was actually moving the, what is it, planchette? I always get confused with this word. People always, you're moving that. I'm like, I'm not moving it. It's moving it by itself, or the other person, whoever's holding it would always accuse the other person. So I would just get annoyed and say, forget that. Just, can you move this? And can you move that? So I always had things moving around. And I mean, that was just going on for years. And I never would believe anything that it said because it just never said anything that came true. It pretty much, again, to me, it was almost like it was reading my mind. So if I gave it a question and I'm thinking yes, it would just say yes. Or if I say, whatever answer, it would go to that answer. So I would never believe it. So that part I didn't believe. But the last time that I actually played with it, again, I had a bunch of people over, and they all wanted to see, things going on. And so, I had a ceiling fan. They made that move. I had a plant. They made that move. So all these little different things around the room, things would move, and they still didn't. No, no, that must just be this, or the air just went on, or this, always coming up with excuses. And so I'm like, fine, which is fine, that's us debunking, right? But so I said, all right, so I took a pencil and I put it in front of on the coffee table, and I said, okay, move the pencil so that everybody can see it. And when they did it, it shot off the table and it went by somebody's face. And so I'm like, oh my God. So we all started freaking out because, a few inches over and it would have like went through this person's eyeball or something, So I'm like, oh my God. But we took the pencil again and I put it on the coffee table and I said, all right, listen, move the pencil again, but do not let it leave the table. And I said, everybody needs to see it just to prove that you're here, but it cannot leave the table. And then all of a sudden it just started spinning in a circle, like really, really fast. And then that was it. That was the last time I've ever played with a Ouija board because that freaked me out. Whether they meant it or not to go by somebody's head, but I got freaked out. So I never did it.
Well, have you done any work with psychics or mediums or anything?
Yes, I do have a few local ones that if I had any questions or I needed help, that I would go to them. I do as much investigation that I can at places, but if the people still feel like they need to have more than, I don't want to say more than what we could do, but some people just feel like they need to have that psychic or medium, I should say medium, to go in and I guess just have more information on what's going on. We can only get so much information through the recorders.
Right.
So, if that's going to make them more happy talking to the medium, again, only the mediums that I trust and believe, they'll go over there and so some do ask for it. There was another time for a house that I was having issues with. Actually, well, I'll give you an example, a personal example. I was trying to sell my house, and we were having issues selling it all of a sudden. Now we had the we had the buyer. All the paperwork was everything was like all set, but nobody knew what was holding it up. Like it was really, everybody was just confused of, okay, what's going on? But all of a sudden, I had somebody in my house, this is previous to the show, and I had somebody in my house, spirit-wise. Once I said that we were going to sell the house, it was acting up. So, of course, again, the doors and the lights and all this other, and just that awful, awful feeling. Some other things happened. But, like, for example, even when we left, so we still had the furniture in the house, and we already left. We already moved, but we still had some things in the house. So when we drive out of the driveway, they would turn the light on. So we're like, okay, so now you got to go back in, go upstairs, turn the lights off, and of course my ex made me do it. So it's like, you need to go turn that light off. I'm like, oh, knowing that it's this thing that keeps turning the lights on, and so just walking up the stairs, it just felt like it just felt a lot of pressure on your chest. So walking up the stairs, it was like I had to hold on to the railings. Otherwise, I would have been pushed down. Like, that's how heavy, like, that felt. And, so I get upstairs, I shut the light off, and then going down the stairs, the same thing. I held on to the railing really tight because I just felt like this pressure in my back now, like I was going to be thrown down the stairs. So, and I would talk to it and, you need to stop this. So, I was going crazy because he was just, the things that he was doing was just, getting really bad. And so I left. And, of course, I kept saying, you cannot, go with me because now I'm with my kids. I want them to follow me and be with my kids and everything. So, but I did have a medium help me with that. So she did what she needed to do, and I did what I needed to do, and together, we got rid of this guy, and then the sale went immediately right after that. So there are some times where I think I use them more personally, with my private stuff more than with people, but I do use them every now and then.
Oh, I'm still kind of on the fence. I just now started doing some research on psychics and mediums and all kinds of different stuff. And it amazes me. There's so much that I really do believe that some people are very capable of. But around here, I haven't met anybody that it seems to me crazy people. But there's people I've talked to on the phone that I think are really legit. Right. So I'm still trying to learn how to figure out who's real and who's not.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of my friends around here go to mediums and stuff, so they're usually, the professionals of who's good and who's not, and then once they tell me a name, then I'll go and then I'll talk to them, and then I'll see, of course, what I think about them, and some of them I just, we hit it off, we became, just really close, and a lot of them teach me about what they do and what they believe in, and so I mean, if you do get to somebody and that's legit, they can teach you with what they think about the afterlife and what they know, because I mean, if they're legit, they're talking to these people who are in the afterlife, so they would be able to help you out.
Right.
I got a question I want to ask is, what would be, I don't know how many exact places you've been, but what historical site that supposedly is haunted that you haven't been to but you would love to go to investigate?
Well, there's many because I really haven't been to many. But even some of the ones that TAPS have been to that I have not gotten out to yet. Of course, the Waverly and St. Augustine Lighthouse. I mean, I totally want to get there. At some point, if I could ever get into the White House, that would be pretty cool too. So, yeah. I mean, there are quite a bit that I just haven't gotten to. Of course, I'll be at St. Albans Sanitarium, but hopefully next year I'll be going to. I'll be doing many events, so I'll be getting to some of these places.
Have you been overseas investigating yet?
No, not yet. Maybe someday.
Yeah, we feel the same way.
I know. I want to go to Ireland really bad.
And I want to go to Italy.
I just want to get out of the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, we went to Pennsylvania.
I used to drive a truck. I've been all over the United States. I just want to go somewhere other than the United States. I mean, I've seen it, been there. It's beautiful, but yeah.
Yeah.
One question is, would you all do your historical research? And I know when they show on a show that, you know, you go to the library or historical societies. How long does it take you all to do that, or do you all have like a certain person that actually digs into the history of the location?
That's more of oh boy, who does? I mean, I don't do any of the research personally, so I'm just trying to. I don't really know exactly who does that. I'm just kind of, given the sheet of the history, so that we know, we know what we're going into. I know Jason does a lot of that stuff, and just trying to figure out, but I don't really know who the other people are. I think there's a few people who get into that.
I was just wondering because I know it's when we do our historical research on our places, it's tedious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially on private locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even like at home. I'll do some, but there's like everybody has their. Everybody in your group, everybody has their own little thing that they do. And, now that I don't have my group anymore, I usually just go in with the other groups. And so, but they all have people in there that do all the history. So it's not something that I have to do anymore because it's already done. So plus I'm not a history person. Everybody has that history buff that they love history and they love to go in there and try to figure out. And I do love doing that, but I love investigating. Like that's what I love to do. But like you said, it's a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of research to get all this stuff. And most of the time my thing is talking to the homeowner and getting all that stuff and going over equipment and stuff like that. But I always have other people that love to do all that research, so of course I hand it off, no problem. I like the investigating work, like not, go to the library or town hall or anything like that. I'd rather get in there and do my thing.
Well,
yeah, Ronnie don't have no problem doing that either.
No, I don't. I've got enough work to do. When it comes up to doing the history on the place, I am happy to hand that off. Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm usually the one who's not on tap, but home, or if I do my own thing, it's usually me that's dealing with the homeowner. And just trying to get everything all squared away and on that end, and just trying to get as much information from them. That's what I love to do.
Right.
Well, since you've been on taps and everything, has your private life, has it been kind of hard to have a private life now?
Not really. Everything's the same. Nobody knows who I am around here. So it's just all pretty good. Nobody has any idea. Maybe because they're seeing me in the black light and it's usually a blonde hair, it's what you see, But yeah, nobody's, I mean, all my friends are, pretty cool, and they usually keep it down. They don't really say anything out loud to other people, and so everybody's usually, every once in a while my boyfriend will say something at the bar, and oh yeah, she's from, and so then you get a few people there that oh my God, but otherwise I usually just keep quiet. I don't say anything, and people don't really recognize me, so it's all good.
Well, it sounds like a way to get a free drink.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's funny, the people that I do talk to, God, I never know. It's funny. I'm a realtor, so I went to an open house, and we just started talking. I just started talking to this other realtor who's in the same company as me, and so we were talking for like an hour or so, and so that got brought up that I was on Ghost Hunters, and she's like, oh my God. Like she didn't, so she's looking at me. She's talking to me for over an hour, and she still didn't know who I was. And she watches the show. She watched the show from like day one with her son, and she still watches it, and she still had no idea that it was me. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Dang. So,
yeah.
where do you think the future of the paranormal world's heading, especially with all these shows that are out now? What's your thoughts on it?
I know there are so many shows that are out there. As long as they keep it real, we'll be okay. But if there's not keeping it real, I'll just put it that way. Of course, it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt all of us in the field. There's still so many people that are out there that make fun of us in the field, that think we're crazy, and ghosts aren't real, and if they make any more shows out there and they over exaggerate just to make a show and stuff, I don't think it's going to last that long. And it's just going to, they'll just make fun of us more. We're just trying to go out there and make it real. So I think as long as people keep making it real and it is what it is, and again, not every place is haunted. People need to know that too, that it's, just because we go in there, it doesn't mean that it's haunted. And that's, one of the things that TAPS wants to show is that, we debunked a lot of this stuff. This is exactly what's happening, or it could be happening, or whatever it is. But we didn't find anything that was paranormal at all. And of course, as you guys know, how many houses that you guys go into, that nothing is going on. It's just, pipes banging or whatever it is,
Right.
So as long as they keep it real, and like I said, just prove it, debunk, and not everything is haunted, and also not make it so scary. I think, if you make it too scary, people, we're trying to help the people, and you don't want to be so over scared, and so I don't really, I don't think that's good either. I think there's a lot of, but what I do like with all the things that are out there is that everybody has their own different techniques, and again, everybody can learn from each other of what they do like to do, what they don't like to do, how they want to do it, how they want their group to do it, how they teach their group. So there's definitely a lot to learn from each other, which is also good.
Oh, I agree 100% on that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What would you tell somebody that that's up and coming that either want to start investigate or want to start their own group? What kind of advice would you give them?
The first thing I would tell them is I think it's the best thing to do is to start with another group, just so that they know what a team should do. I don't think anybody should just go out and just start a team and just start. They need to start with a group that's been out there for a long time, learn whatever you can, about talking to the people, because, it's also a part of this is how to speak to the owners. So they need to go and kind of sit down with these people, ask the right questions, try to figure out, what all the issues are, and be confident and comfortable and calming to the people, because right now the people are, they're obviously scared and nervous to have you out there. Making sure that you have a good personality and just making sure that they're comfortable. So, not only learning how to do that, but learning how to do from start to finish. Pretty much like any other business. You can't it's hard to just start your own business. It's best that you start working for other people, and then the more you learn, then you can start your own business. So, it's pretty much the same as that. Buy your own equipment. Not everything, but just a few simple things. Go out, do some simple investigations, and just learn from there. Again, just like I said before, the techniques of learning. Everybody has their own way of learning, investigating what they do like, what they don't like. So people do have a lot to learn before they just start their own business. So my suggestion would be to first find a local team, who might be, I hate to say hiring because, it's not like we don't get paid for it, but, who are looking for people, and even if you go out part-time, with them and just focus. The other thing is that it's also good to do that so that they know how many hours are actually put into it. So it's not just going out and investigating like we talked before. For a certain amount of hours, you still have to go over and you have to go through all the equipment. So I don't think that people realize how many hours is really into it, just for one investigation.
Exactly, and that's what we try to tell a lot of new members when they come in. We're like, look, there's a lot of work you got to put into it.
A lot of people just want to investigate. That's all they want to do, and they don't want to do the other work, and go through. Because, honestly, if it's a night that you have absolutely no activity, it's a very long night. But when you do find activity, it's great. Maybe not for the homeowner, but it is for us. But it's it's great to find something, but it's a long it's a long time that you have to go through all the recorders and all the videos and all the pictures and study everything. And when I owned my team, there was some people in there that's all they wanted to do was investigate. And they always came up with all these excuses why they just couldn't, they just didn't have the time to go through everything. So, okay, well, see you later then. We're a team. We all need to work together. We all need to do everything together because this is, that's part of the team. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish some people in my group would take that advice, but oh well. So, do you have any projects that you're working on for the rest of the year that you might could talk about real quick?
For the rest of the year, no. Like I said, next year I'll be doing events. The only thing I know that the St. Albans Sanitarium, but there's also another one, and I can't even think of the name right now. It's too late for me to think of. And I know it's in New York. I'm just not sure. But like I said, and I do have other ones coming up. It's just, I'm not going to talk about it until the contracts are all set because, you never know if something is canceled. So I don't really want to talk about anything else. But once they do, I will definitely post it. When I do have events under Ideal Event Management, so the website's idealeventmanagement.com, and you'll find a lot of us in there and where we will be. And let me see, if once I know when things are definite, I will post them. Of course, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Shari Marie 826, and on Facebook, I have my private one, and I have my Ghost Hunters one. And the difference is I have my middle name in the Ghost Hunters one. So a lot of people are always asking me. I have a problem with Facebook because they won't allow me to change my name. So this is why things have been a little difficult. But so my Ghost Hunters one is Shari Marie DeBenedetti. So that's where I'll post everything once I know more.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So those are the best websites for people to get in contact with you?
Those, yeah, for Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. That's where you can find me. Yep.
All right.
Well,
awesome.
is there anything else you'd like to add to this or take away from this or retract?
Retract. I didn't know I could do that. That's great. Well, I don't really know. I can't think of anything. No.
Well,
I can't think.
She's like, retract. Let me think.
I know.
About 45 minutes ago, I said this, and I would really like to retract that. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know it's late, and I can tell you're tired. Believe me, I am worn out.
You know,
and
you know what? When I'm investigating, it's like that's you're at midnight. You're still awake and you're still going and going and going. But because I'm home and I'm investigating, oh yeah, I'm up at 5:00 in the morning because I got to get my kids to school. So yeah, so usually at 9:00, I'm yawning. So I think I'm doing pretty good for being up this late.
Well, I won't keep you any longer, but I do. I greatly appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I have nothing but respect for you all, you and Jason and all of them, Grant and Steve. Damn, you all, really influenced me to even start my group, be honest with you, So, but there again, thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully we'll get to see you at St. Albans in May, and if you want, if you get a chance, you want to come back, we'll welcome you back anytime if you'd like to come back, if you want to.
I'll have to. What?
So I was letting you know, thank you so much. I've so enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me also.
She'll probably block me as soon as we get off here on Facebook.
No. Check your messages, okay? No, I'm kidding.
Well, okay. Ooh, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? I didn't say that.
No, all good.
Well, you have a good night, and we appreciate it,
right.
and nothing but good luck with you all and the show and everything.
Thank you very much.
Good
Okay,
night.
you have a good night.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye. Well, everyone, that's it for us. I'd like to thank Taps Ghost Hunter investigator and TV personality Shari for coming on the show. I would say her last name, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up again. Let me try it. DeBenedetti. Is that how she said that?
Shari D.
Shari D. There we go. She got a nickname now. For coming on the show, I thank everyone who took the time to listen in. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Vibe Radio Network, also to all the first responders and our men and women in the armed services. Thank you for your service. Our guest for next Thursday night, November 10th, will be Larry Batson. Larry is also known as Larry the Animal Guy. He has been working with wild animals for nearly 40 years. This is going to be part 2 of the show that we aired a couple months ago, where we had him on, and he had a whole lot to say. So everybody, stay tuned for that, and thank you all for another great week, and appreciate y'all listening. And so everyone be safe and have a good night.
Night, y'all.
Now, let me see. What does everybody want to listen to close us out? Let's go with this.
Ting tang, walla walla bing bang.
Ooh ee ooh ting tang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee ooh ting tang, walla walla bang bang. Ooh ee ooh ting tang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee ooh ting tang, walla walla bang bang.
Do 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 do.
I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He told me, ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. 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 I told the witch doctor you didn't love me true. I told the witch doctor you didn't love me nice. And then the witch doctor, he gave me this advice. Ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. 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 You can keep your love for me just like you were a miser. And all I said it wasn't very smart. So I went out to find myself a guy that's so much wiser. And he told me to wait over your heart. Ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Come on and ooh, ee, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ooh, ee, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ooh, ee, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ooh, ee, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.